Alrighty, we are live with podcast episode 5. Is it 5? Is it 6? We have the title right when it's all said and done. And I don't have to be correct here, just read the title. But anyways, we are back with the Retro Gamers Haven podcast. We went from Hub, we went to Heaven, now we're back to Haven. And I think it works pretty well. This is a haven, a safe place for retro gamers to come in, talk about games, talk about weird stuff, talk about what they like, talk about the stuff that your wife doesn't want to hear about because she's just too cool for school. You know what I mean? So we're gonna talk about that, and you can learn a lot here. You can share your knowledge, share your wisdom, share your experiences, learn about new stuff with us. So come on in and join our Discord and meet the nice folks here who also love retro gaming, and maybe even get some games in the process. Wink, wink. So for all you key holders out there, good job. You've achieved level 4. That's a great place to be. I think I'm on level 9, if I'm not incorrect. But I'm just trying my best to keep in there and spend some quality time in there with you fine folks. And I've been enjoying it. So hopefully you're enjoying it too. Today we got a pretty good podcast for you. We did the Star Wars special last time. Pretty cool. Went pretty well. So far this has been going pretty well. But today we're going to talk about some, unique stuff that's happening in the retro gaming world. One thing that's been kind of an ongoing theme for a while has been iOS. It hasn't really been a great place for retro gaming, such as emulation. But recently, they've kind of unrestricted their stance on it, and they've allowed some emulators on there. Well, now we've got some big ones hitting the store. RetroArch and PSSPP have hit the store. I think this is a really good thing. You see a lot of companies like Nintendo now really going after trying to destroy emulation in all its forms. To see a big company like Apple kind of take a stance behind it, I'm not saying that they're standing behind it and saying, "Hey, oh, we love emulation," but they're allowing it. They're allowing it. They're not shutting it down. Emulation ultimately does affect them in a way. I mean, you think about it; they sell games on the game store, giving away free emulators on the game store, encouraging possible piracy, encouraging possibly not buying new games to play retro games for free. Takes away from their bottom line in some way. So, Apple, we give applause to you, and you have done well for once in this case. You're not just, well, you are just a greedy, monopolistic corporation takes advantage of, migrant workers. But in this case, you are definitely doing something that's good for the community. We appreciate it. Keep that up, Apple. We want to see all the emulators on there. Heck, we want to see Yuzu on there. Of course, that's not possible because Nintendo basically deleted it from existence. However, we're seeing some great things. RetroArch is huge. It's going to have a lot of emulation with inside of it. So you Apple gamers will finally have a reason to own a Backbone controller, which is great for you. Because we on Android have had many controllers and we've had many gaming experiences in classic games, and we didn't have to root our phones or do anything against the warranty, I should say, to do that. So kudos to you, Apple, and your very much overpowered phones and tablets that now can play underpowered games. So that's really great. We're also going to be talking about today DMCAs. Nintendo is a behemoth, a nightmare of retro destruction, I should say, because all they care about is the Switch and the Switch 2, it feels like. Um, and they don't care about the past. And that's fine. That's fine. Their legacy, I guess, dies with the Wii U era, and everything new will be for sale. So what we've got here is Nintendo sending a DMCA to the amazing Vim's Lair. Vim's Lair, known for lots of great emulation games, ROMs. It's got a GameCube, Wii, Xbox 360. These things aren't always the easiest to get. I'm gonna be real, and we've got computers powerful enough and tablets powerful enough. I should say smartphones powerful enough and gaming handhelds like the Odin 2, for instance, powerful enough to play a lot of these games now. And I think that it's starting to scare them. I think that Nintendo's getting scared that you're going to be able to play games for free, and then it's going to take away from them selling you remastered Wii titles and Wii U titles for full price again. So I think they're scared of that, and well, maybe they should be, right? Who knows? But we don't condone piracy here, but we do recognize that it exists, and we recognize that these games have to be played some way. And I don't think that buying a $500 cartridge of Mega Man 6 or whatever is or some game that's not in circulation anymore. That one clearly is, but some game that's not in circulation anymore, like for instance, SWAT Cats on Super NES. I don't think paying $300 for that cartridge is really giving Nintendo any money to begin with, or the license holder any money to begin with. So I don't see in that case what's wrong with just grabbing it online and giving it a play. They're not making any money on it anyways, even if you buy it legitimately, because it's all secondhand. It's not in stores anymore, and you're not really hurting them anyways, because probably somebody who's playing retro games for free isn't going to buy new games anyways. Think about it. We're just not that market, not that target demographic. So that's a thing. And let's take a look at some other stuff going on right now. We have got right now a lot of other things in this community going on. One such thing that I think that is relevant and matters is, of course, ROM hacking. 1 second. ROM hacking. We're going to talk about that because there is an amazing new game coming out right now. And it is Arc the Lad Rebuild. We haven't really had any ROM hacks of Arc the Lad. Honestly, I mean, outside of like you got some cheats, you can like input cheats into the game or something like that. Nobody's really taken on Arc the Lad. Well, right now, Shadow 501 has taken it on the same way he took on Final Fantasy VII Survivor. And he's basically, from what I'm seeing, I haven't played it yet, but he put all the face set characters is Japanese version. That's what it says, exactly, verbatim, which makes you think that he's changed the graphics over to Japanese. And its possibility to play from beginning with all characters and levels and items after the final event. That sounds a lot like a New Game Plus. That excites the heck out of me. I would love to go back through OP as heck, because I've earned the ability to OP and just wreck everything and enjoy the story. I love that. That's a bit of the nerd in me, I guess. That's a bit of the, wanted to be overpowered, wanted to be level 99 and go back and really wreck shop. So it's pretty cool. He also put out version 7.0 of Final Fantasy VII Survivor. He's been working a lot on this. I remember whenever it was like version 1.0 and 2.0 and 3.0, and well, now we're getting version 7.0. In this game, you get to save Aerith. You get to play as Sephiroth. You get to meet with Cloud's mother on third disc. Very interesting. Visit the unbroken city of Mideel. By speaking Honeybee Inn. Honestly, this is a little difficult to read, but there's a lot of new stuff in here. He added a bunch of features to it. Being able to return to play football in Costa del Sol, more dialogue with Marlene in Sector 7 slums on the third disc. So, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff there. Go ahead and check it out for yourself. We want to support this community. Shadow 501 is our hacker of the week. He is putting out stuff on PlayStation. We don't have a million hacks on PlayStation. There's been some good hacks on PlayStation, sure, like Legend of Dragoon is getting broke wide open right now, and we'll cover that next week. But yes, there's been a few, but more or less in terms of PlayStation, we haven't had as many hacks. We've seen most of them with Gran Turismo. 1 and 2 have had some hacks. Final Fantasy 7, of course, but a lot of PlayStation games, we've seen a lot more in terms of them getting re-released on PC through Steam, or them getting re-released, with some upgrades and stuff like that. Official re-releases. We haven't seen a lot of improvements to the original games. We've seen more ROM hacks, I'd say, out of like N64 games and Super NES, Sega Genesis games. So I think it's really great that we're starting to see some classic RPGs on a PlayStation getting tweaked, besides just, hey, a retranslation or an English translation patch or an unworking designs patch, such as we did with some different games that came out like Lunar 1 and 2, which I highly suggest those. If you're going to play those games, you should probably do the unworking designs version, because sadly the Japanese versions were better, and whenever they came over from working designs, they made changes that were unnecessary, that just made the game harder for no reason. Adding artificial difficulty to an already great game, to me, is very stupid, and just because we're Western audience doesn't mean we have to suffer. I'm just going to put it like that. We're going to talk about something else here. A new gaming handheld has arrived from Anbernic, the RG35XX. And it is basically a Game Boy Advance SP. Let's just be real. It is. It's slightly wider. I watched a few videos on it, tried to see if it was worth it. It was around $60. I know our leader of our Discord has bought one. And I'm very happy for him. I hope he enjoys it. You should be able to get a video and pictures from him, I'm sure, uploaded with his experience with it, which I'm excited to see. An emulation device that looks like a Game Boy Advance SP that can fold up in that clamshell design definitely has its purposes. I would think 100% has its purposes, and it is exciting. We had one before that came out from a different company. I think it was Pal Kitty, but it was smaller and a little jank. This one seems to be of a higher build. Now, in terms of the reviews that I've seen, this thing comes with a 3.5-inch IPS screen, 640 by 480 resolution. That's pretty good for a Game Boy Advance type of thing, Super NES type of thing, right? Right. It comes with a quad core, 1.5 gigahertz processor, dual core G31 MP2, 1 gigabyte of RAM. So this GPU is a dual core GPU with 1 gigabyte of RAM. I'm not overly impressed with these specs. They're about par for the course of a $40 to $80 handheld. They're not up there with the 405M or anything, the Odin 2 or anything like that. This is just a run of the mill. They say that it can play up to N64 games more or less, but this thing doesn't have a joystick. It's just got the D-pad. So I don't know if you'd want to do that. I think that would be just like a massive bonus, but I don't think anybody would want to play that. I think this thing is going to be for Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, NES, Super NES, Sega Genesis, things like that. And I'm not sure that there's not a better way to play Super NES, Sega Genesis, and stuff like that than on this handheld. I think there's a better way to do those because the upscaling and MSU One Audio and things like that. I would get this specifically if I wanted to play NES, Sega Master System, Game Gear, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. That's what I would do. So it's the Anbernic RG35XX, priced around $60, probably going to go 75 soon. You should pre-order it if you want it. If you want a Game Boy handheld, Game Boy Advance SP handheld in your pocket, I would say it's great. And it'd be cool to flip that thing out and everybody like, whoa, look how cool you are. Well, it would be cool to have. I just don't know if it's for me, but we shall see. And if I get one, I will certainly talk about it, and you'll hear my big mouth blabbing about it. That's for certain. We have a game coming out this month, and it is not retro because it has now been made modern. That which is old has become new. However, I will say that Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake for Switch is exciting me. And on March, what is it? It says March. That can't be right. I don't think that came out yet. But I thought it was more like May. I think it's May 25th, actually. Yep, it's like May 24th or 25th releasing. But we are going to get Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake. That's the GameCube one. Some people loved it. Some people didn't love it so much, but it was classic Paper Mario RPG style. And it supposedly had a funny story. I haven't played it in a while because I was younger when I played it. And I've forgotten a lot. So I'm kind of excited to play it. So that's up to you whether or not you want to explore that one, but it is getting released, much like Metroid Prime 1 remastered. So we are getting GameCube games finally ported over to the Switch, which we were promised like 7 years ago when it came out that this was going to be a regular thing. I'm kind of disappointed we haven't gotten a lot of these games like Wave Race ported over, Wave Race Blue Storm, 1080 Avalanche. Where are they at, Nintendo? Where are they at, Nintendo? While we're on that subject, I want to talk about the Switch a little bit more. There's been some games that I've been waiting to happen, but have not happened. And I got a good feeling that they're going to be Switch 2. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're going to be Switch 2. One such game we might see is Star Fox Zero from Wii U. It came towards a part of the Switch life where the Wii U life where it wasn't as successful anymore. And it came with wonky controls that were kind of hard to get around. So I think a re-release with that, with modern controls, change these controls up to a better control setting. Give it a touch of polish for the Switch 2 or late gen Switch. I think would be great. I want to see a freaking Pilot Wings title. I'm sick of this, Nintendo. It's been since DS with this basically pared down little minor exploration Pilot Wings we got. The best Pilot Wings, of course, was on the Super NES and then on the N64. We loved it. We had fun with it. It was great. A lot of different character. It was fun. But we need another Pilot Wings, Nintendo. And I'm thinking a next-gen Pilot Wings is going to look great. And it's going to be awesome to play. And just make it quirky, Add in all kinds of little Easter eggs. Let us explore a new city, a couple of cities, and give us new things to fly around in. That would be great. So that would be fun. And then another one we talked about a minute ago, Wave Race. What the hell, Nintendo? Wave Race. We've had some games come out that have kind of been like, spiritual sequels like Riptide and whatnot for that. But I'm really waiting on another Wave Race. I need another Wave Race. It was a great game on the N64. Great game. It originally, of course, was on Game Boy. That was a long time ago, but that thing sold millions of copies on Game Boy, which is surprising. It's like a top-down, kind of like a rock and roll racing, Hot Wheels car, like riding around type of thing in your jet ski. But then we got the amazing Wave Race 64, which is incredible, of course, if you get the AI texture pack, the AI upscale texture packs. It looks freaking beautiful. So you got to play that if you want to play a good retro game. You never played it. Well, what are you doing? Go play it. Go play 1080 Snowboarding and Wave Race right now. And then go pick up 1080 Avalanche and Wave Race Blue Storm on GameCube. But we need to get a Wave Race Blue Storm remaster for Switch. That would be something if we could ever get that. Nintendo doesn't seem to care at all about that. So I guess that will never happen. So we're going on now to talk about the Switch 2. Rumors says that it's going to be 4K, 60 frames per second games. That's pretty impressive. Apparently, the specs on it are going to blow some things out the water. It's going to be somewhere between PS4 Pro and Xbox One X or something like that. Does that excite me? Sure, yeah, it excites me. Except for Nintendo has kind of become, I don't know how to put it. I just don't trust in them that they're going to be putting out enough games to make it worth it. It seems like we're entering to the gen of games where we're just getting a lot of remakes. You got to think about all the games that got remade from Wii U on the Switch. We just had so many. Super Mario 3D World, New Super Mario Brothers Wii, Pokken Tournament. I mean, we could go on all day. So many games. It seems like they were afraid to release new IPs. We had ARMS, of course, which they seem to have abandoned. A couple of Splatoons. But ultimately, it doesn't feel like they really released anything new for Switch that like just was shocking. I mean, you could say that Mario Odyssey was a step up from Mario's Galaxy and 1 and 2, but I don't see it. I think it was more just the evolution of it. I don't think we really got anything on Switch, honestly, that blew me away. And even if you say like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were so amazing and so mind blowing, they really weren't. I mean, Breath of the Wild, let's be completely honest, it was like Assassin's Creed, Skyrim, and any other like third person open world RPG kind of just put together, and Zelda was kind of just slapped into it. I mean, it felt devoid of content in my mind. You had the three, main dungeon type of things, and then the final basically dungeon. Then you had a bunch of small shrines. I just wasn't shocked or impressed by it like everybody else was. I gave it a solid 8.5 when it came out. Somewhere around there. I felt like Assassin's Creed 2 was a better game, and that's way older. I mean, I felt like in my mind, some of the Assassin's Creeds trumped it. I felt like. Now, Tears of the Kingdom was like all the same stuff, except for we add Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts crafting system to it. I was not shocked like everybody else was. No, I just wasn't. I mean, I've seen Skyrim with 4K textures on like a 4090 GTX 49 RTX 4090 GPU, and that to me was impressive. That to me was something I've never seen before. Like, wow, look at these graphics, and wow, and you can do whatever you want in this world. I still feel like you were kind of limited by being forced to play as Link. I'm just gonna be real. At least in games like that, we can play whoever we want to be. And I just didn't feel like they had that. So I never felt like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom were such ground shaking like things that just like opened up the world of gaming and changed it forever. It seems like on every console Nintendo had, they had something that just revolutionized that we've never seen. In 64, we had Mario 64 with this ridiculous control set, kind of a pseudo open world, with a hub world and all these amazing worlds and stars and the freedom to kind of play it and conquer which part of it you wanted to in the order you wanted to. GoldenEye revolutionized console gaming. A console first-person shooting. We'd never seen anything on a console like that. It really was just this fun game with endless, replayability to get cheats and to replay on different difficulties and the multiplayer and all the levels and the characters you could play as. Perfect Dark just kicked it up a whole nother notch. GameCube had the Mario Sunshine, that cool ass controller we had. Smash Brothers took it up. We went to the HD era, and it was kind of mind blowing. We came out with the cool Wiimotes and had unique stuff, like I said, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and just a lot of cool stuff. And, Wii U has this gamepad. For the first time we got a gamepad. Switch just felt like a mobile handheld, which, of course, yeah, they beat the market to it a little bit, but ultimately it just felt like I'm just playing on the go. And that's what it was. And the games just never blew me away. We got we got the Mario Kart 8 re-release, and they added features to it. We never got an original Mario Kart on on Switch. We just didn't. So I mean that kind of sucks. Now they added content to it, and it's the best way to play it, sure. But we never got an original one, and that's kind of sad. Of course, we got Smash Bros. Ultimate, and they added all the stuff to it. But I mean, debatable, like whether or not that's the best version of Smash Bros. I mean, it's got lots of stuff, sure, but is more content mean it's better? I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy the adventure mode as much as I enjoyed the one on Brawl. I thought that one's a lot cooler. But it was there, and it filled itself up with content. I guess that was something. But we'll have to see what the Switch 2 has coming for it. I think if you never really got into Switch gaming, you at this point it's probably a good time to jump in. There's lots of games. I mean, lots of things you can go back and play. You've got just some really great stuff on there. And Square Enix really loved making the HD 2D RPGs on there, of course, which I think it was great. We kind of had like a re-emerging with Square Enix because as we know, Nintendo lost Square to Sony whenever the PS1 came with discs, and Nintendo's decided to stick to cartridges. Kind of a shame. Who knows what it could have been like the N64 looking back if we had gotten like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, Final Fantasy Tactics, Saga Frontier, all these games. I mean, it might have been, we might be looking back and saying that it was the superior console to PlayStation 1, as opposed to, hey, it just had some great first-party titles. But looking back, PlayStation's catalog really does destroy Nintendo's catalog. I don't know if anything could touch Mario 64 at that time. And in terms of go-karting, I don't know if anything can touch Mario Kart 64, Diddy Kong Racing for the adventure aspect, GoldenEye for the shooter. I think Nintendo owned that era for a few things in terms of like, you look back and you say, wow, that was really great. Wow, I want to play that. I mean, do I want to play Mario 64 more than Crash Bandicoot? Do I want to play Banjo-Kazooie more than Crash Bandicoot? Of course I do. Of course I do. And of course most people do. But if you were stuck on an island with one console and it was either the PS1 or the N64, you can't tell me that you would choose the N64 over the PS1 with their ridiculous library. There's no way. We had Rare on it, sure, but once you beat those 9 or 10 games Rare put out, what did you really have? I'm thinking back to the N64, if they didn't have Rare, and Rare had gone on to basically make PlayStation 1 games, the console would have been dead. I think Nintendo would have died. I think that Rare saved them prior to Nintendo kind of not making the offer to buy Rare and losing them to Xbox, which is one of the greatest gaming tragedies ever. But we're going to talk about that next week, along with Legend of Dragoon, like we said. We'll talk about that next week. But we're going to get into what's going on at the Retro Gamers Hub right now. We are going to have an amazing gaming day tomorrow. If you want to play with some cool people, well, actually, you'll be playing on your own. But if you want to upload your screenshots, your videos, talk about your experience, we are playing the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade tomorrow. You can play it through MAME. You can play it through Arcade 1-Up. You can, play it in other means. Find your means. They also have it on NES, kind of like a port of it, with some great versions. I think there's a Texas edition, it's called. And that's a really great version that adds in a lot of fixes and adds in a lot of, quality of life stuff. So that's a great way. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Arcade is what we're playing tomorrow. And it is a hell of a game. Cowabunga. We'll be moving on to another game next Sunday. So each Sunday, we're going to have a different game. Let us know if you want to get in. We have the little sign-up thing where you click the thing and it says, hey, I'm in. And let us know how your experience is tomorrow. We will all be collectively playing this amazing game. I want to talk about a little modern news real quick, and then we're going to shut this down right around the 30-minute point. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut has released on PC. It's on Steam. You can buy it. This is a really great game. I played it through on the PS4. It's amazing. I think you'll really enjoy it if you like third-person open world games. It is great. It's super, high quality AAA type of game. Great if you like anything, having to do with Japanese culture, samurai, stuff like that. Like I said, it's a 9.5 out of 10 AAA game. It's right up there with like Horizon, Forbidden West. It's right up there with God of War, the newer ones. It's right up there with Uncharted, The Last of Us. It's in that same, first party Sony super high quality. It's like one of their big AAA games. So definitely play that if you haven't played it yet, or you can wait for it to go on sale, or you can grab it on PS4. But if you have not played it, it's great. I want to talk about aside from that, I want to talk about Game Pass real quick. I'm hearing a lot of stuff about Xbox, dying, and the Xbox ecosystem dying, and Game Pass is, failing and this and that. People also say there's no games. I think that's BS. If you only play Xbox, and that's all you play, if you're like tribalistic, if you're an Xbox fanboy, no offense to you. I love Xbox like everybody else, but I love every game on every console and every genre. But if you are a Xbox fanboy who's played everything on Xbox, then okay, there's probably nothing for you right now, and you probably feel kind of jaded with your Game Pass subscription. But if you're a gamer that plays multiple different games on multiple different consoles, then you got no reason to complain about Xbox having no value to you. I took a quick peek on Google, and in about 5 minutes, I put together a list of amazing games: High on Life, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, the first one. Hellblade 2 is about to release on it May 21st. That's by Team Ninja. That's another one of those awesome, epic third-party God of War style games. You should play. Starfield's still on there, still getting improvements all the time. Of course, you can play that through cloud streaming. All the Halos, all the Gears of War, including the Gears of War Tactics. You can play those online too. Plague's Tale 1 and 2, the third person kind of like puzzle adventure game. Hi-Fi Rush, Tunic, the amazing Zelda-like um, top-down overhead adventure game. Really great where you play as the fox and you go through. I played about half the game. It is freaking good. It is really good. I just got lost. I'm not that great all the time in adventure games. I do get lost sometimes. I'll probably return to it fresh with a restart and try to get through the whole game. But Tunic's super great. The Outer Worlds is great. If you're a Fallout fan, you got the Outer Worlds. You got the Fallout Bethesda titles, of course. You got Skyrim. You got Fallout 76 on there. If you don't want to buy it, you can just play it through there for free. Sea of Thieves, the great Rareware adventure, first person adventure game on the sea. You get to be a pirate. Grounded, you get to, be in this open world of, you're against like insects and stuff like that. This survival game, super cool. Shredder's Revenge, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade style game that got released. Lies of P, the third person Souls like with Pinocchio. Doom Eternal, the amazing boomer shooter that you can play online. Dishonored 1 and 2, the Wolfenstein series. If you have not played a lot of Xbox, then Game Pass is an incredible value. You could probably get easily 6 months to a year out of gaming on it alone, where you wouldn't have to buy the games. I mean, the whole subscription for like a year would be like $130 or something. I mean, you got no excuse not to be getting Game Pass. So I'm just throwing it out there. We're not sponsored by Game Pass. Maybe one day. That'd be great. But we are not. But I don't want to hear anybody complaining about how much Game Pass sucks or Game Pass has any games. Game Pass has games. Lots of games. You just might have played them all already. In which case, you're a gaming fanatic. You're an Xbox fanatic, and that's fine. It's fine to be whatever tribe you want to be in. We accept all kinds over here at Retro Gamers Haven, and you can also check out Modern Gamers Haven as well. That's a great place to be as well. We've got more on the modern gaming side. And people get together, to play games together and stuff like that, newer games. But either way, you can't lose by signing up to both of them, honestly. And let us know what you think about the Discord. We want to see you guys in there. Go ahead and check on in. Tell your friends about them. Bring them over too. If you got any suggestions, let us know in the Discord. If you got any suggestions or things you want to hear at the podcast, let us know. We'll be sure to talk about it. I'd love to chop it up with you in there. I'm going under Nintenja, the lone wanderer on this podcast, but I'm not alone on the Discord. I definitely have friends in there that I can talk to whenever. So it's a place, gamers to talk about games, especially retro games. We love that. We love emulation. We love ROM hacks. We love ROM hacking, and we love playing these old games, trying to keep them alive. So come on in, say hi, join our Discord, and we'll be in there. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Until next week, which is either episode 5 or 6. I'm not sure at the moment. I'm pumping these things out. But we're going to be talking about some cool subjects. So stay tuned. Next Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will see you here.